Hi guys, it's Jennifer. I have one more kit to share with you. Sorry, I'm trying to get a better angle. Okay. This is a boho kit, and I put that. Usually like to say Middle Eastern, but I know a lot of people refer to it as boho. Boho technically is Bohemian, which technically is from Bohemia, which no longer exists. It used to be part of the Czech Republic, but now it's all one big area. But that being said, there are so many definitions and styles of boho. Some people consider it southwestern, like cactuses, bright colors. Some people consider it Middle Eastern. Some people consider it Asian. So you can have a blend. Mine is pretty much Middle Eastern. I have fabrics and things in here from India, Dubai, Mombasa, Morocco, and one other one. Oh, I do have some Romanian elements as well. And then I also have, so I am going to say boho because mine is not this is not exclusively Middle Eastern, just because I did add a couple other elements that blended nicely. But as far as the fabrics, they are all authentic. I don't get anything from like Walmart or Joann's or whatever. They're all from out of the country, and I've been collecting them for a long time. I have a couple of sellers online I buy from, and then my mom has a friend who, lucky enough, she lives in Mahatma. I hope I'm saying that right. It is in India. That is the other place I was trying to think of, not Mombasa. Mombasa is one of them, but not in this kit. That's more of an African or like kind of Moroccan type, is what those fabrics look like. I do also have a couple vintage tarot cards in here from Hungary and Switzerland. They obviously, a lot of people will think of the Romanian gypsies, and I do not use that term. I'm just saying it so people understand what I mean, because a lot of Romanian people do take offense to it, just as like a Native American would take offense to being called an Indian type of thing. And I know nobody in the crafting world means to be offensive whatsoever. Just a little back history for anybody that wants to know. So if you have any questions on any fabrics or anything, please feel free. I have loads, and I actually have another order coming in soon. So I will actually, let's just start small. I will just start. This is just a little teeny bit kit that I didn't want them to get lost. It is an Indian charm. It's a little elephant, and then a little this charm is not Indian. It's just a little owl, and then some paper clips that have like a rusty form to them, and some of these pins, memo pins, the Tim Holtz ones, because you can pin them into the fabric and have a little memo on that. This is just some bits and bobs, just like I do in all my kits. Just some extra little cutouts from the paper. Oops, a couple of price tags, and then just a few die cuts. This is an Indian woman, and then this is from a painting in India of some elephants. And then these are some more of the talcum powder tags that like I said, I have loads of in my digi stash, and they're not all Indian at all. This one's actually Japanese. This one is also Japanese, but the colors just blended. The kit was requested to be with a more purple and bold colors. I believe this is American, but the imaging around the edges. Another Japanese. I take that back. This might actually be Chinese. And then this one's American, but just like I said, the colors and the images. This is a travel poster for India. Another one. This is one of their musical instruments. This is a travel poster for Morocco. This is a painting in India. This is actually a Romanian woman. A lot of people will think it's a gypsy, but it's a Romanian woman. This is another, this is a really vintage photo of some Romanian people. This is a very loose term. I got this on a crafting page for Bohemian. This is not the real definition, but I know a lot of people find it to be, and I really like the colors. So, you know, I mean, people aren't trying to be offensive. I completely get that. It's not like they're saying derogatory terms. It's just to some it is. But this has just a loose definition of the term Bohemian now, because obviously Bohemia doesn't exist anymore. It's one big area, but I thought I would include that. And then this is a map of Romania. Gold. Oh, I guess I have the cards in two spots. This is just a gold playing card, which I love. It's really cool. It's really fun. I actually started. I have not finished, so please excuse it. I was making some like layered pockets with some stuff. This is totally a base. I have not, this is not completed whatsoever, but just an idea. And then I'll just get them out. I have, because this is one of the, this is from Hungary. It's a tarot card, because a lot of the Romanian people did do tarot card readings, and people do associate that with the word gypsy, like the tarot card, the wanderer. These are from Switzerland. They're super old, but I just love some of the images. And then I tried to include a woman and a man of each kind. And then the gold. These are the paper elements for the kit. A bunch of cutouts. And I have a couple stacks that are Indian-based pages. I think like Taj Mahal was one of them, which was interesting. And the other one was called Trader Jane's. So, and she wanted real bright colors. So I tried to do the real bright, fun colors as well. And then these are more of those embossed labels. Some Stampin' Up! Envelopes in various colors. This one's actually doubled, and it's got a real pearlized feel. This is like a bright paper and then a pink. Some file folders, and this one's gold embossed. And then that one's just a yellowy color, like a mustard. Some tags, and they're really pretty shiny. Some more tags. This one's got two sides, and then that one's another of the, it's hard to see on camera, but it's got a real nice embossing. Some really cool imagery. And then that's brown tag, orange tag, and then this really bright red. Two Stampin' Up! Cutouts, and like these will fold and tuck if you want to fold them. I'm not going to completely fold them. And then a few of these bags. The little tags fit perfectly in all of these. And these two are double-sided paper. That one kind of has like a horse carriage thing going on. Wood. I love that. And then these are two of the bright embossing colors. Embossed colors, not embossing, sorry. One big tag. Ticket cutout folded for some journaling. And I didn't really copy dye anything because she wanted bright, bold colors, so I didn't want to copy dye and ruin that. Two, and actually there's two from the same page. It was from a big, looked like what it was, a big maybe Persian or Indian rug cutout, so I just cut them out on the edges so you could get some of the picture image in that. And then these are two more of these, and these make great pockets, great journaling cards. I love this dye. It's one of the best. Too bad it's retired. It stinks. And then I included some other bags, black, some glassine, a glassine envelope. This is a really bright, fun library pocket. And a fun thing to do with this is actually to like layer, let's see, you know, like layer fabric on top of it or something like that. Some vintage library cards. A really fun orange envelope. Some damask bags in a couple of sizes. Some really nice deli sheets that'll fit great in the 5x7. This is a postcard, and this image is totally from Scotland, but the colors and style just went really nicely. These are two constellation, and they're pyramid envelopes, and you can look online, or I can send it. There's a certain way, they have little holes you tie and fold them. I don't want to bend them, but I use them as envelopes. You can actually make them into little boxes as well. And then this is some, it's called translated into English is hell money. That is how it's translated, or the hell banknotes. It does not literally mean hell. It's what the Chinese do when someone passes. They leave offerings so they have it in the afterlife. As far as money, food, things like that, because they don't want someone to be in their afterlife without those things. So you will burn this, and there's tons of kinds and denominations, but this one is just incredibly beautiful. I have a whole set because I used to collect them, and my kids, when they were little, would be like, oh, that says a bad word or something. But that's not, that's just the English translation. So anyway, and it just got some really beautiful gold leafing on there. This is some pink French, French Latin. It's about Latin, book page dictionary. And then music, because a lot of the cultures that people refer to as Bohemian love music. And then this really cool, I love this envelope because it's got a really nice big flap, so you can actually sew it in your signature, but you can also emboss it, cover it with fabric, all sorts of things. But I love the big, really sturdy flap on that. Okay, so that's that. Now to the, actually I'm going to leave that there so it's not separate. The good part, I guess. We'll do the trims real quick, and then I'll get into the fabrics. So these are just some of the trims. There's a few extras that I found that I thought would just be nice. And I've got to kind of hurry because my video is getting long. Really cool green crochet. And this is like a bright piece. I usually cut this kind apart and put it in various places, the little different pieces. This has some of the gold sequening on it. Another cording. And this one has a little bit of a stretch to it. And then some gold and silver rickrack. And then I have this in gold, and I will find it, and I didn't have it. It wasn't where I put it, which means I used it recently, but I do have this little trim in gold, and it's great to add on top of things. So I will include gold and silver. I just didn't have it right on hand and had to get my video done while I had the chance. So this is the little like buttons and beads. I probably shouldn't have dumped that out. So this is a trim I got from a woman in India. It's a big long trim. And I cut it up into little pieces because that's how I think it's really cool to use it, as the little pieces. The trim gets to be a little too much and makes it too bulky, but if you use the little, and they're all sequins and beads made into flowers. The work that took, amazing to make those little sequins into flowers. But those are really fun to add as accents, and I just included a little punch in there just because, I don't know, I was punching stuff out. I included some of my wooden beads. In those bright colors, and I think the wooden beads should still be listed. I don't know if they sold, but I will look, and if not, I have more. I made little wooden bead kits, like variety packs, wooden beads, because I didn't really want to have enough to sell them individually in big amounts. And so these are just a bunch of little beads. You can make tassels or trims, and I included 2 of these stone elephants. And then that's a memo pin, and then a little metal piece that says Warrior. And then some really cool big vintage buttons. 2 metal filigree pieces. And actually, I had one more I was going to stick in here. I thought I had a really vintagey looking one. I guess I was wrong on that. I do have it. I will include it. I just don't have it right here. Sorry. Guess I was very ill prepared. Okay, let's get onto the fabric. And like I said, these are all authentic. I don't use anything, and I'll tell you if it's not from out of the country. These are the trims. I included 4 kinds of fun fibers: purple, like a magenta, silver, and gold. And then this is just a cool, really like fuzzy trim, and I had another, oh here it is, and 2 colors of sari silk. This really cool, it's like a flocked almost white with black, and then just black. And this was a vintage sari, really large. I cut a nice big chunk of that, and this makes great strips. You can cut it into strips. So this is a piece, and this one's really old. A lot of these are vintage, because I do buy the vintage items. This is really vintage. I was actually afraid to cut it, but I did it, because these are, I think, glass. I'm not positive. They kind of look like glass. And then this piece. This one is also vintage, and this one's from my mom. She gave me a big piece of this, and it was from her friend. She finally gave me the name too. And then this is just a piece of silk, oops, with some embroidery on it. This is not vintage or anything like that. That mirrored piece. This is a huge piece. I got a really big one, and I just cut the trim off, but it is all little teeny tiny beads and sequins, super tiny. And then this is also vintage. It's very heavy when you have the whole thing in your hand. And then this is another applique piece, and some pink silk, really buttery silk too. These are 2 pieces of trim. And these, actually, I think are from somewhere in Europe. These aren't from India. Ooh, I want to say they're French, but I think that's wrong. If you want to know, let me know and I'll look it up. This is not vintage whatsoever. This is a newer piece. This one is vintage. This one is also, I think I put 2 of these in here. Oh, similar. Really pretty. Almost like a peacock. This one is more modern. It's from the 80s, I think, 90s, something like that. It's not vintage. But these little beads are so beautiful right here. This one is also very modern. It's just sequins, like an applique. This is some brocade type fabric, and I make pillows with the pillow. I'll show you the pillow cover, but I cut these and make pockets also. This one is also vintage, and just the textures, and you can look at the difference when you look at the vintage versus the modern. The amount of detail, and I mean, fabrics from India and places like that have really good detail anyway compared to like China or America or something, but just even the vintage. This is like a silk embroidered piece. This is also a vintage sari. Really big piece, and I cut the corner so she could make a pocket if she wanted, but it's incredibly embroidered, like the detail, and then all of the stitching along here with the sequins. Oh, I'm so going over on time. Another embroidered piece. This is a silk scarf. Another silk piece. Actually, this isn't silk. It's like a sheer chiffon, sorry. This is more of like a muslin cotton type piece. This is not from India or anywhere. I think it's just from America, but it's really nice for layers or for little pieces on tops of things. And this is another scarf, and this is Anna, what are those called again? I always say it wrong. A hijab. So if you've actually seen, Macy's has started selling designer hijabs, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. This one is Oscar de la Renta here, and just the colors are beautiful. And then this one is not Liz Taylor, but it's somebody like that. I don't know, but they're 100% silk, and they're not from India. They're from America, but they're designer, really pretty. And this is another pretty scarf, but just the silk texture and the colors. And these are 3 pieces I got. They are like a canvasy type, and they're just, the colors were really cool. They're not necessarily from anywhere, but I just loved the colors, and they make really cool pockets and belly bands and stuff like that. Oops. And this is just a piece of cool cotton. And this is a dyed batik fabric, and I put a big chunk of that in as well, because that's really fun. You can cover buttons with it, you can make tags with it, pockets, cover the spine of a journal. And then this is an upholstery fabric, not from a foreign country or anything, but it's got really cool colors. And I've actually used this to back a couple of things, cut it for pockets. I actually have a couple yards of it. It's really fun. And then another piece of brocade. And then just some other little pieces I just thought would be fun. These are like a flocked chiffon, like a really fuzzy feeling. And then just a couple more appliques. So that is all of the insides. And then she requested a cover. So my two cover options would necessarily be exactly like this. They're always different. This is a quilted one that is from a quilted pillow that I cut up. And you can see it's got some old pieces, some new pieces. And I did always done quilting, so that's my thing. And I still have yet to do a quilted journal, go figure. But my suggest, and I will include this, is to cover your book in this first. So it's just a little more sturdy. It's some kind of sheer netting. If you don't use like batting or something like that, this is really cool to use in between for quilting. And then another option could be this. And this is just a brocade piece. And what I would do is cut it. Unless you're doing a traveler's notebook, this would be a perfect like traveler's notebook to tuck under. But if you're doing a 5x7, I would cut it down the middle and make each of these a cover, and then make a spine piece with a different piece. That's what I would do personally. It would make it really cool looking. So that is the kit. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. If you want, oh, haha, a couple of the pieces fell over. I knew there was more. Sorry, there's this silk one, mom's video. Sorry, my kids are laughing at me. And then there's these two really cool big gold pieces. Okay, anyways, so if you have any questions, comment below, and I will answer them the best I can. Thanks, and have a great day.